Blake Neff is still here with me by my side, and we are now empty on that side of the desk. But we are not empty for having guests because we have the great Senator Markwayne Mullin on the show from the state of Oklahoma. Who I don't know if I think he pulled over on the side of the road to do this. This is fantastic. Senator, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I did. I'm actually right off an exit ramp, if you can't tell.
I love it. Well, God bless you for that.
Thank you.
I just want the audience to know what kind of guy this is on the other end of this call here. And when everything went down, one of the first calls I got, and it was just so sincere and so sweet and kind, was this senator right here from the state of Oklahoma. So, and I saw you as well at the White House when JD was hosting the show, and Vice President JD Vance was hosting the show, and you just came by to say hello and give us hugs and tell us you were with us. So God bless you, Senator, for that.
Thank you. And I'm awfully proud of you all. I mean, very proud of you all. And it's just the love that you guys have for each other, the love you have for the country. It's just such a something you want to be part of. You gravitate to, right? It's a Christian value that you see in every walk of life that you say, I want some of that. I want to be part of that. I want to be part of that light. And so thanks for letting me be part of it, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, we've got your back. I know you got ours, and you've been an important voice though in this whole year legislatively. I mean, you've been acting as a liaison between the House and the Senate on the BBB, and you're working with the White House, and you've been messaging out. I wanted to bring a lawmaker in to talk about this shutdown, and it seems like this central debate here. You've got CNN saying, "Oh, it's not true. They don't. Democrats aren't fighting for health care and Medicare for illegals, or is it? Let me see, Medicaid eligibility for illegals." And you put out a tweet basically debunking this, that you're saying it is, and we're not going to budge on it. Tell us what the truth is, Senator.
It 100% is. And I'll actually read it for you once we get it pulled up here. In their CR, they strike subsection, and the subsection they strike is subsection 71109, alien Medicaid eligibility. They're striking it out specifically of the OBBB. Now, what they're saying, the sleight of hand that they're saying here is they're saying, well, we're not giving illegals. Well, what they're saying is that since we're not giving illegals, is because Biden technically deemed them or gave them parole. And since he gave them parole, they're saying that they're not illegal. Well, they're 100% entered this country illegally. They should have never been paroled. Biden was paroling 98% of everybody,
This is
meaning
the
the 20
key.
million people that came across the border in the last 4 years. Biden paroled them without even looking at their status. And what OBBB did was cut the waste and fraud of it and said, we're not giving those individuals status of legal status to be eligible for Medicaid, which is why that says alien Medicaid eligibility. That's why that says that.
Hmm.
And so when you look at their subsection, it completely strikes it. So they know exactly what they're doing. They're lying to the American people. And this is why and this is right here is why that they're saying they want the government open for 4 weeks for $1.5 trillion. It basically undoes all the waste and fraud we cut out of OBB because they reinstate it. And they want it done. They want to hold the American people hostage for 4 weeks, and that's not permanent. Open the government. That's just for 4 weeks. And put that in perspective. Well, we lost them.
No, I got you.
Oh, you got me? Okay, sorry. I can't see you guys so good. To put that in perspective, it's 900 that's $600 billion above the NDAA, which is our National Defense Authorization Act. That's not $600 billion above our defense budget. That's crazy.
That is actually insane. People don't understand how big of a line item healthcare is in our federal budget and how much of our insane debt is driven by healthcare spending. And so, I mean, so they lost this fight during the BBB, right? We ended up passing that, getting it accomplished. And our side, candidly, wanted even more cuts. And so here comes Democrats saying, oh, even the cuts you got, we're going to shut down the government for it. And so then you've got Trump, who's brilliantly trolling Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer with these pretty silly memes which is we might have lost him right there. I don't know if you can hear me, Senator. You froze.
No.
He froze. I have a feeling we're going to get him back.
It is just in general so enraging where they pull this scam where, oh yeah, we're not giving healthcare to illegal immigrants because under the Biden administration, we used this scam to just make millions upon millions of people technically legal because we gave them all temporary protected status, which once your country's on temporary protected status, they never ever go off.
Well, by the way, they gave up the goat during their own primary. And I can prove it to you.
Yeah, let's play it.
129.
Raise your hand if your government plan would provide coverage for undocumented immigrants.
And the plants in the audience are like, everybody clap, clap. And so then they start clapping.
I am a little grateful that like the peak insanity of, 2018 through 2022, basically, 23 is going to be the gift that keeps on giving because thankfully we have cameras and the media is a lot more decentralized than it was even a few years ago. And they can't live down the fact that, they can say, we don't want healthcare for illegals. Oh, then why did you all raise your hands to do it? And why did the entire audience applaud wildly?
Yeah. And by the way, even Jake Tapper, I will never, ever forget when Jake Tapper called Charlie an anti-Semite. But right during his RNC speech, I will never. I brought this up on the show when Charlie was alive. It burned deep in me then, and does it even just saying his name right now. But I will give credit where it's due. He called out Jeffrey sorta. It's weak, but he's calling out the hypocrisy of Hakeem Jeffries. Play cut 105.
How they characterize it is you want to give health insurance to undocumented immigrants. I understand that's not really an accurate depiction, but what it does do is...
It's a lie.
It's a lie, but what you support does bring back funding for emergency Medicaid to hospitals, some of which does pay for undocumented immigrants and people who don't have health insurance. And also there is this provision, and it's not about undocumented immigrants, it's about people with asylum seekers and people with temporary protected status, et cetera, but about their ability to get Medicaid. So they're non-citizens. Why even include that in a bill knowing that they're going to seize right upon that and use that to message?
All right, so we have Senator Markwayne Mullin back. So Senator Jake Tapper basically says, well, of course it's a lie. Of course what they're saying is a lie, but it's kind of true. So you can see Jake Tapper dancing around the issue a little bit, but even Jake Tapper is calling them on this garbage. Your reaction?
Well, Jake, I was on the show right before that, right before Jeffrey came on. And Jake actually agreed. He's like, yeah, you're accurate. So when he talked to me, he knew it was right. But here's something that people aren't even talking about. The $1.5 trillion that they're wanting to add back in it doesn't have anything to do with the funding for discretionary spending. The $1.5 trillion that they're wanting to put back in was out of reconciliation. Reconciliation only dealt with mandatory spending. So Medicaid and Medicare and Social Security isn't involved in the funding bill that we're fighting for right now that's currently shut down. It's the craziness is coming out of the Democrats right now by shutting down the government over something that doesn't have anything to do with the bill, then wanting $1.5 trillion. And then to understand that, Andrew, these same Democrats voted for this exact same bill, the exact same language a year ago to keep the government open. We did a CR to December. We did another CR, continuing resolution, so it's the same thing, in January before President Trump was in office. And then 10 of them, including Chuck Schumer, voted for this bill in March.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Well, so
not one language, not one piece of language has changed.
Well, I'll tell you what's changed. Chuck Schumer took a lot of heat for that, and AOC is nipping at his heels, and everybody AOC saying this isn't
100%.
About me. Well, yeah, it kind of is about you because let's be honest, Chuck Schumer's fighting for his political life here, and he wants to prove to the base that he's still got it. He's still one of the cool kids. He's going to get radical. Like his left flank. But here's what I love. The old Republican Party, Senator, would have completely botched and squandered this. This Republican Party is memeing Hakeem Jeffries into oblivion and what? I mean, listen, he's calling it bigoted. Okay, well, it's a meme. It's a meme. And you are defending a lot of illegals that, as you mentioned, have just been labeled as legal, given parole, 98% of them. Well, we also know there was over 10 million, maybe it was as high as 15 million that came in, and all of them were seeking asylum. All of them were put into this status. So de facto, you are giving health care to illegals. But here's what I love. Now the administration is playing offense, and they're saying, hey, guess what? Russ Vogt is going to go clear some dead wood while we got this shutdown going, because we're going to find out what agencies are really doing the bidding of the U.S. taxpayer. Play cut 130.
This problem. And look, we have $0 coming into the federal government right now because the Democrats shut it down. So what Russ Vogt is working diligently on is examining how we can fix this mess to ensure that critical funding continues, that we can get people paid. But the Democrats are making that very difficult. And that's why the president put out a statement this morning saying that we're going to start looking across the board at layoffs and at agencies that we feel do not best serve the American taxpayer, that may need to be halted or permanently cut.
All right. So, Senator, if you're still there, yeah, there you are. What can be done? What can Russ Vogt do at this point? We got about a minute left. Tell us what he can do.
Well, when the Democrats succeeded power, can you guys hear me just fine?
Yep.
When the Democrats succeeded power and gave it to President Trump to force the shutdown, President Trump essentially gets to go around and deem every employee essential or non-essential. Now, if you remember in 2017, 2018, and 2019, when we went in a shutdown because of Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, the president said, if you're not deemed essential, then you're fired, because government should only be hiring essential employees.
That's right.
So now that Russ Vogt gets to go in and say you're essential or non-essential, we get to clear the fat out of these agencies. I want to point out something. During Biden's tenure, which was during COVID, and none of these employees were showing up for work, they grew most agencies at 100 and 150%. So to say we're going to cut 10% of the employee workforce by cutting the bloated federal government is nothing. It's easily done, and this can be done in a matter of weeks. So the longer the Schumer shutdown continues, because they could open the government in 5 minutes if they wanted to, and the longer it continues, the more fat we get a cut out of the federal government. So it's a win-win for the Republican Party either way.
Well, Senator, thank you for walking us through that and exposing the Democrat lie there, because it's just so blatant. It's so blatant, and it's so cynical. It's gross. And Senator, thank you for joining us. I know you made a pit stop just for this show, so God bless you for that. And thank you again for all of your amazing support for Charlie, for Turning
Thanks,
Point.
Andrew. I appreciate you. You all take care.
Thank you, sir. God bless you.